Brad Smith here, just to kind of go over a few things that I feel like are missed a few times. I think as a golf instructor, I go over with my students what they do for a living, if they've played sports, if they play an instrument, or if they game or that kind of thing. We used to talk about a light grip pressure. I think we need to be careful with that nowadays. I've been doing this for a long time, so I think now we have texting. We don't use these three fingers back here and here. We actually use these, when we type. Gaming, same idea. Drumming, you drum. If you're a drummer, you hold on to these and you do this, and the drumstick goes back and forth. Baseball, we tend to let go at the very top sometimes, and then come down to hit the ball. So we kind of get kind of loosey-goosey up in here and then tighten up on the downswing. So I think we have to be kind of cautious on what we do on that. In the past, I used to say light grip, but now after interviewing a lot of people, my students, I kind of watch what they do for a living, and kind of get them to understand if they're squeezing too tight, or if they're doing this, or they're a doctor and they're using a dentist that uses a lot of these instead of these. They may have trouble with the grip. So grip pressure is going to be very important on the different positions. We want to use what we call the thenar muscle, which is right here, and that kind of goes down on the club. Once you put it in the fingers here and you're holding on with these fingers, this comes down. Most people like to use the thumb. That's why you get like thumbprints up here on the shaft, on the grip. We want to make sure this is underneath here, of course, underneath that bone right there. I think it's called the pisiform bone. So that's underneath there. And then the thenar muscle, which is a hand muscle right in here, that comes down on there. Very important. Of course, we talk about strong grip, weak grip, that kind of thing. Normally, I like the thumb at 1 o'clock. If your grips are on straight, the thumb will be right here on the side, the flat part. The flat part right here will be right on at 1 o'clock. And then you'll be underneath this, and you'll be holding on with this. So a lot of times my drummers will hold on with this, and they don't use these fingers very good. Or they put the grip up in the palm. So it's underneath this, and then the right hand is really important. We're going to use these two basically. So if you overlap, which I like better than interlock, or if you go 10 finger, you're using these two more than anything, these two right here. So it's right here. The right hand is going to be on there like like a trigger finger. That's going to be on there like that. And I'm not pinching again. And I'm using the same thing up in here, this hand muscle between the lifeline and your thumb. It brings the hand down. So that's kind of the feeling I want you to have. So that's what it should kind of look like. So if you have a weaker grip, it would be more on top. Maybe even this hand will be turned more that way. But both hands I like for most of my students, not all of them. There's a lot of different thoughts out there. So, depending on what the ball shape is or what I want them to do, I may change this hand. But normally I want this hand to fit the way you're built. So this angle is right here, a 45-degree angle. I should be gripping it like that. If my body's built like this, I might grip the club this way. So if you're like this, you may even have a little stronger grip. So it should kind of put on the club the way you're built. This hand is the one I'm going to kind of tweak around depending on the ball flight that you want. So, and then that actually helps you with the wrist, trapping the ball, and that kind of thing. So I think we got to be careful with grip pressure. So we were talking about grip pressure. So once we're on there, we want to make sure we're using those three fingers right here, these three, and these two. And then this piece, this gap right there, doesn't get too big. So I don't want it real big, and I don't want this down in here. You can see how my right arm just takes over as a righty. So in here, trigger finger is up around there. This thumb is on here. I'm not pinching again. I'm pinching with that right thumb. Once I'm on there, now I'm ready to go. Now I should be able to make that grip pressure the same through the whole swing. Now you want constant grip pressure from beginning to the top. And this is where my baseball players get crazy. Sometimes they let go a little bit because they're kind of relaxed, and then they're going. So we want constant grip pressure. That'll keep your wrist from getting too loosey-goosey up top, and it should help you through impact area. And if you do all those things with the what you do for a living, or you play an instrument, or if you learn that, oh, I've read somewhere or saw somewhere on the internet that I'm supposed to have a loose grip. I think be careful, especially my younger students are too loose nowadays. So be careful, grip pressure, constant, not where the veins are popping out. The veins will not be popping out in your neck or your arms. They're going to be on there. Your hands are on there, so you're somewhat relaxed in your upper body, so the lower body works. Good luck. We'll see you.